ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Warframe Wednesdays. I'm your host with the most, as always, Francois878. And today we're going to talk about what the hell happened to Archwing. Where did it go? Why haven't we seen it? You know, it's just kind of fallen off the radar as of late. And, more or less, we haven't seen any new Archwing weapons in 3 months plus. The only new Archwing suit that we've gotten is the suit you're seeing me use here, which is the Odonta Prime, which is not even an original Archwing. And we got that as part of the Prime Access. That's it. It's the newest thing we've got. And you know, we don't have any new game modes. We just have extermination and interception and sabotage. That's it. And you know, there's not really a whole lot on the horizon either. The only two things I've heard about as far as Archwing from the developers, new stuff coming to Archwing, is apparently there'll be sections of the new Grenier water set that are exclusive to Archwing, or Sharkwing as they're calling it, where I guess you're underwater in your Archwing suit, which I'm all for that. But I mean, are we gonna get new game modes? Are we gonna get new Archwing enemies? Are we getting new weapons? Are we getting new suits? Like what is that? Like what is it? Just, you know, what are we getting with that? You know, is it just extermination and sabotage and interception just underwater with more of the same Grenier enemies? Like, I want to know what that means. They haven't released a whole lot of information, not that I could find anyways, on the new stuff that's coming out. Is something else that they've announced is that the next raid, which is going to be the redone J8 Golem infested boss, will have a half, regular Warframe level, half Archwing level in that raid. And, that's the kind of thing that they kind of, sold the whole Archwing thing. That's how they sold it when it first came out, is, you'd be running through a ship, killing Corpus or whatever, and then all of a sudden there'd be cannon fire and you gotta, jump out of the ship and, do some stuff in your Archwing. That was the first Archwing mission we all played, and it was fucking awesome. And then we never actually got a mission like that. And so it may be coming back with the J8 Golem stuff, which is awesome, but the J8 Golem stuff, if the last raid has been any indication, it's going to be a high level, it's going to be an upper level raid. New players aren't going to be able to take advantage of that. And I'm not a big fan of that. I feel like, I want something like that for newer players as well as older players. Don't get me wrong, I think that the fact they're bringing back the J8 Golem and reworking him and putting him in as a raid where he's, partially in a ship and partially outer space, I think that's fucking awesome. But I think they need to make that another version of this mission, not with J8 Golem specifically, but just, with whatever. And I think they need to roll that out at a lower level so that, newer people can take advantage of that, because that's an awesome game type. And I would really love to see that for, that's how people get roped in on the Archwing stuff, in earlier missions is with, missions like that, So, that's, there's a couple of things, the J8 Golem stuff, I'm really looking forward to that. But I like Archwing. I shouldn't say that. I like the idea of Archwing, buzzing around in space with a giant cannon shooting other dudes with giant cannon. I think that's awesome. Warframe Gundam, sign me up. I just think that the execution thus far has been meh. I think that they definitely need to, introduce more game types. I think they, should introduce a Archwing specific game type. I guess technically, partially in the ship and partially in space is technically an Archwing specific ship, Archwing specific mission type, but I want something else, we want, if Archwing is going to be a real thing and, it's something that the players should take seriously and isn't this, silly little gimmick that, there's one mission per per planet right now, you need more weapons more than anything else. Because weapons, using new weapons and enjoying new weapons is half the reason I'm still playing this game. After a year and a half, that is the biggest reason I'm still playing the game. And when you just kind of neglect they have neglected the Archwing in the weapons department, and that makes it less fun. I just now started to get around to finishing the Odonta Prime because I had only gotten about halfway to 30, because I'm very close to the Mastery Rank 19. If I wasn't close enough to Mastery Rank 19, I wouldn't have even bothered with it. But, what are you going to do? This is just something that I think has so much potential, and that it just hasn't. It just needs, it needs some work. Our Digital Extremes is kind of, if I can be really critical of a game studio of which I know nothing about, I think they're spreading themselves really thin right now. I think they have so many, projects going on, with new raids and the PBR stuff and. The new Warframe and the new enemy type. There's just so much shit going on right now that they're having a hard time keeping up with everything else. And I just don't want Archwing to go the way of the dark sector, the old dark sector PvP. This big announcement. Oh, it's gonna be so cool. Everybody's gonna love it. It's gonna be the next big thing. And then, 6 months later, nobody even bothers with it. And right now it is pretty hard to find a good game with people in Archwing. It took me probably about 40 minutes of just, occasionally checking back in the Uranus Archwing mission to run this interception mission you've been watching. And that's sad. And that's granted, that is partially the matchmaking system, that is the matchmaking system in Warframe. But, it's just also people aren't playing Archwing missions, There's just, they're not getting played. So, and this is, the whole point of this video, I guess, is just to say, I like Archwing. I think it's a great idea. I think they've done a decent job so far, but I think that, we haven't really seen anything major come out in a few months, and we really, this particular game type is just dying. It needs some new weapons and some new levels and some new stuff, And I understand these maps are huge and they take a long time to build, but 90% of this map is open space. They couldn't, they put some rocks in and some ships. That's this entire level, And I understand that it's more complicated than that, but give us something new. We want something new to keep our keep our attention. When there's when it's the same old boring grind, that's no fun. Granted, this game is super grindy, obviously, but I don't know. That's the end of the episode, ladies and gentlemen. And because it is the first Wednesday of the month, I will be doing 275 Platinum giveaways. Please just comment down below, just telling me you'd like to be in the giveaway, and you will be entered. I will be announcing winners for during next week's Warframe Wednesdays. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I appreciate it. This has been your host with the most, as always, Francois878, signing out.